Hello everyone, welcome back to Crack Grade B. Today we are going to cover the schemes which are launched by Ministry of Minority Affairs for the betterment of minorities in India. So first of all, let's understand that who are the minorities in India, who are considered as minorities in India. So these are total 6 religions. Now, one thing which I would like to tell you is they can be linguistic minorities, they can be religious minorities. In this particular section, we are going to talk about religious minorities. Minority word means what? Which is different in one way or the another from the majority group. If there are 100 people in a group and 70 people follow a particular set of practice and the other 30 are not following that, then obviously as per numbers the other 30 are minorities, correct? So in India, minorities can be of two types. One is linguistic minorities, that means on the basis of language that the people speak, and apart from it, on the basis of religion that the people follow, you can be a minority as per that as well, right? So in this particular thing, Ministry of Minority Affairs, they take they put out scheme for everyone. In this particular series, we are going to specially focus on the religious minorities. So there are 6 religions which are identified as minority in India as per there is a National Commission for Minorities and its act was brought in 1992. As per that particular act, there are 6 minorities in India. Let's check out the populations. So the largest minority in India is Muslims. Percentage is 14% in the total Indian population. The figures are which are mentioned here belongs to census 2011. Next, Christians, Sikh, Buddhist, Jains and Parsis are also there, right? Parsis are also there. The first scheme which we are going to talk about is Pradhan Mantri Jan Vikas Karyakram. Now, first understand the few of the basics. So this scheme was started quite early in 2000s, like 2005 it was started. Earlier its name was different. Now its name has been changed. What is the focus of this particular scheme is to identify areas where minority people live and to improve infrastructure of those particular areas so that minority people can benefit out of it. Obviously the majority population can also take benefit of those infrastructure developments, obviously, because they are living in that particular area, they are going to take the benefit. But the focus of this particular scheme is infrastructure development for the betterment of minorities. What we are going to see under this particular scheme is what are the objectives, what are the fundings, what are the decision levels, right? So these are all the things which you have to take care under this particular scheme. Now let's take some background. So earlier this particular scheme was called as the multi-sectoral development program, right? This was a centrally sponsored scheme. Initially the scheme was launched in 90 minority concentration districts, all those districts where minority population was quite large, right? Substantial minority population was defined as areas where out of the total population at least 25% belongs to the minority group. So that is how they have defined it. This was the past. Now after it, see, who were the minorities? Muslim, Sikhs, Christian, Buddhists, Parsis, etc. Blocks with a minimum of 25% minority population falling in the backward district as per the 11th 5-year plan was identified as the minority concentrated blocks. Now what are the blocks? These are the groups of villages, right? These are known as the blocks. This particular scheme was restructured in the year 2017-18 and this was termed as the Pradhan Mantri Jan Vikas Karyakram. First of all, the area was increased In the earlier scheme, the area was only limited to 90 districts. Now, after this particular scheme has been changed into PM Jan Vikas Karyakram, the coverage has been improved to 308 districts, right? Evaluation study by Niti Aayog. So for continuation of implementation of PMJVK during the 15th Finance Commission, that is from 2021 to 2026, and evaluation was done by Niti Aayog. So Niti Aayog said that this particular scheme had a positive impact on the lives of minority and we should continue it. Therefore, this particular scheme is going to continue over the 15th Finance Commission cycle. Means this is the time period for which this particular scheme is going to continue. Now, before moving with this particular thing, I would like to tell you one thing, that there are schemes which are known as central sector scheme, right, or centrally sponsored scheme. Some of you might be knowing the difference between these two. If you do not, I'll tell you. Central sector scheme means the funding is going to come from central government. Implementation is going to be of central government, right? And the subject on which this particular scheme has been brought belongs to the union list. These are the three things which are the key defining feature of central sector scheme. Centrally sponsored scheme, what happens over here? Normally, the subjects onto which centrally sponsored scheme comes belongs to state list. Next, the funding is divided between central and the states. So, states also contribute to it. And implementation of the scheme is what you can say purview of state government. Implementation is done by your state government. So I hope that you know what is the difference between central sector scheme and centrally sponsored scheme. Now let's see quickly what are the objectives. I have already told you the objective in a very limited way, that the only objective of this particular scheme is for developing infrastructure. So what are the objectives? Sorry. To improve socio-economic condition of the communities who are living in the areas, community infrastructure development support, providing basic amenities, reducing imbalances and development deficit. What are the areas covered? I have told you. All those areas will be covered where minority population is more than 25%. Means out of the total population, if the minority population in that particular block district is over 25%, then that block or district will get automatically covered under this particular program. State level committee, central level organization will have to certify that area, that yes, minorities are quite large over here. The infrastructure projects to be taken up under the PMJVK would be for creation of community assets only. Community assets only means all those assets which can be used by community, like your school, panchayat bhavan, right? All these things which are called as the community assets. Community assets, I have just given the example. Community assets means any such kind of asset, like making a pond, making a well, all those things which can be used by community as a whole. Especially in the priority sector, and infrastructure assets would be of use for all communities living in that particular area. It will continue to provide financial support as per approved central share, right? With emphasis on socio-economic improvement. 80% of the resources, means whatever funds will be allocated to this particular scheme, 80% of the resources would be utilized for the priority sectors. Priority sectors are your education, health, right? Sanitation. These are your priority sectors. At least 30 to 40% funds will be dedicated for assets and facilities of women and girls. So there is a gender angle also which has been brought into this particular scheme. Next, now we are going to talk about the level of committees, or you can say decision making authorities, or you can say the management structure which is going to regulate this particular scheme. See over here, State level committee will consider viability of all the projects before recommending the project to the ministry. Block level head is the chairman of block level committee. Now, state level committee also comes later. First of all, this is the block level committee which is responsible for preparing the plan. Why? Because ultimately, this is the block level committee only which knows the ground problems or the ground root problems what are there, and accordingly it will prepare the plan. Then this particular plan will also be reviewed by your district level committee, and after district level committee it will go to state level committee, and finally this particular thing will be recommended to the ministry. See, district level committee are headed by district magistrates from the Prime Minister's new 15-point program as a district level committee. It will scrutinize the plans proposal which are submitted by the block level committee. The state level committee are constituted for implementation of Prime Minister's new 15-point program for the welfare of minorities. Next is funding pattern. So all states and for UTs with legislature, the normal funding pattern is 60-40. That means central government is going to contribute 60% of the funds required and state government is going to contribute 40% of the funds required. Now there are some special category of states like northeastern states, correct? Himalayan states, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh. Here sharing pattern is 90:10. Why? Because special category status has been given to them. They are not well developed. Still, they are not in the position so that they can bear the cost of 40% as well. Hence, for them, there is a special advantage that center says that we are going to bear 90% of the cost of this particular scheme and you will have to just bear 10%. For all union territories without legislature. So in India, please know that what are the union territories who are having legislature. Delhi is a UT but having a legislature on its own. J&K is having a legislature. Puducherry is having a legislature. Apart from these, all the other UTs are not having any legislature and they are being governed by in the name of president, right? So all those union territories who are not having legislature, 100% funds will be given by the center because it is the center who is ultimately responsible for the governance of these particular union territories. Now let's see. Now we'll understand these schemes. So you'll see that we are going to learn very limited about these particular schemes. Why? Because all these schemes, you'll see there are 5 schemes which have been merged into a new scheme. We are going to study that particular scheme in detail, but before that, let's understand these small schemes which have been brought out at time and again in order to develop the minority sectors. So these are for different groups. Some are for the traditional learning, some are for women of minorities, some are for the elderly, some are for the Parsis. So all these are so many schemes, and hence in order to simplify them, in order to combine them into one particular scheme, they have been combined and we'll study about them. But first let's understand them individually. Number 1 is Nai Roshni. Nai Roshni. So by the word Roshni, I try to remember and try to link it with the minority women. So this particular scheme is basically for minority women. Why? Because government wants to provide them knowledge, then how to interact with government systems, banks and other institutions at all levels. That means governance knowledge. This is the knowledge that they want to create in the women of minority group. So let's understand. To empower and instill confidence among minority women, including their neighbors from other communities living in the same village, by providing knowledge, tools, techniques on how to interact with government systems, banks, and other institutions. The implementation of the scheme started in 2012-13. Who are the targets? So, women belonging to all six minorities, along with SC, ST, OBCs, and the women with disabilities, plus other communities, but they should not exceed the 25%, because this particular thing is being focused on the minority women. Who are eligible women trainees under this? So no annual income bar. Women parent or guardian of women having annual income not exceeding 2.5 lakhs from all sources would be given in preference. What they are saying is anyone is eligible. There is no bar on the basis of annual income, but still those women who are having, even them or their parents or their guardians are not having an annual income above then 2.5 lakhs, that is the exemption limit, they will be given a preference, right? So next thing, age group 18 years to 65 years. Who is going to implement? Non-government organizations, universities, institutions, they will be implementing. Next is Seekho or Kamao. Seekho or Kamao, obviously want to develop skills in the youth in the age group of 14 to 35 years. Why this particular scheme? In order to reduce the unemployment in the minority communities, right? Therefore, the target group has been chosen as it is between the age group of 14 to 35 years. It aims at providing employment and employment opportunity, improving the employability. This is implemented through the project implementation agencies, societies of the state government, UT administrations registered under Society Registration Act. These are the project implementing agencies. Any private professional institution who is conducting skill development course for at least last 3 years, and any industry or association of industries like ASSOCHAM, CII and FICCI, etc. So all these are project implementing agencies, means all these can register and can enroll themselves to provide this particular scheme of Seekho or Kamao. Who are eligible to get the skill training? All those people who belong to the minority community and are in the age group of 14 to 45 years or 35 years. The minimum qualification should be at least class 5. Next is Nai Manzil. Nai Manzil, this particular scheme was launched in 2015 to provide education and market driven skills training for the targeted youth from minority communities, right? So in this particular case, Nai Manzil, this has been is started for in order to give in the market driven skills for the youth of minority communities. They give non-residential integrated education and skill training for 9 to 12 months. Total physical target is approximately 1 lakh minority candidate phased over implementation of the 5 years. Now who will be the beneficiaries? So beneficiaries are the 1228 community development blocks where minority population is 25% or more of the total population, right? One thing, this particular thing is wrong over here. This is a type mistake. This is 35 years only. Now next, Ustad. So this particular scheme is has been brought in order to provide the, see, every community has a certain kind of traditional learning associated with them. So this particular scheme wants to develop and wants to retain that particular skill for them. That means it wants to train minority groups in their traditional learnings, so that they can earn livelihood out of that, and such traditional things do not go out of sight in the modern world. So these are the twin objectives of that. See, it aims to preserve the heritage of traditional arts and craft of minority communities, and they want to build capacity of traditional craftspersons, artisans, and establish linkages of the traditional skills with the global market. Now, what are the implementation? Who is going to implement? Ministry will involve National Institute of Design, National Institute of Fashion Technology, and sectoral export promotion councils as well. So these are the project implementing agencies which will help in order to develop the skills in your minority groups. Next is Hamari Dharohar. Hamari Dharohar is for heritage and the culture protection. So they want to promote iconic exhibitions, calligraphy. Calligraphy is the art of beautiful writing, right? So in various communities, such kind of skills exist. Or this particular thing is not basically for skills, it is for the art. If you remember, there are so many arts related to painting, correct? People in the minority sections used to express themselves through beautiful paintings. So this particular scheme is in order to protect that particular art of minority group. What we do over here is digitization of the medieval documents. Who are the target groups? So a minority which is having a post graduation with 50% mark, and girl and women candidates belonging to the minority community. The scheme will be implemented. This particular scheme will be implemented for creating rich heritage of the 6 notified minority communities under National Commission for Minorities Act 1992. This scheme can be taken up in the entire country. Now, all these schemes which you have studied till now, they have been clubbed under a particular scheme called as the Virasat Ka Samvardhan, that is PM Vikas. सीखो और कमाओ, उस्ताद, हमारी धरोहर, नई रोशनी, नई मंजिल. All these 5 existing schemes have been summed up and they have been brought under the PM Vikas from the financial year of 2022 and 23. There not everything has changed, but this is very practical decision. Why? Because so many different schemes and so many eligibilities, there are obviously agencies are so many involved, there are overlap of functions and duties, plus the targets are not properly targeted. So it's better to have one scheme, few implementing agencies, and a undivided attention on the minority group. So with relation to features, you will see many of the features are same, and few of the additions have also been added here and there, but most of the features have been same. So let's study about it. Although we have studied all of these 5 schemes differently or separately, but we'll see in them also, in this particular scheme also. Now, launched in April 2022. This is aligned to 15 Finance Commission cycle period up to 25-26, and it is a central sector scheme. Central sector scheme means, that means in this is a central government financed scheme. Implementation is also going to be of central government, right? And when I say centrally sponsored, that means the funding is shared between central and state, and implementation of the scheme is done by the state government. So what are the objectives? To build capacity of minority and artisan communities through targeted intervention, okay? Preserve and promote the cultural heritage of traditional art and craft, to provide formal education and certification up to 8th, 10th, 12th through open schooling, obviously skill development they want to do. They want to empower women from families of minorities and artisan community and instill confidence amongst them, to improve employability of and generate better livelihood opportunities for minorities and the artisan communities. to develop model and sustainable art and craft villages, generating livelihoods and employment opportunities for the minorities and artisan communities, right? Next is, what is the approach over here? So bottom up approach means taking the feedback from the ground level and then working upon it. One is top to down approach, top to bottom approach. In top to bottom approaches, you ignore the ground level realities, you create the schemes as it is, and then you force implementation. Whereas in bottom up approaches, you see the realities at the ground level and accordingly you do your work. So ministry shall conduct primary research in the selected regions through common service center so that they can collect data on the artisans and minority communities. Then the Gram Panchayat network will also be leveraged for the data collected during the survey. Now what are the components? Number one is skilling and training component. We have already studied about it, right? It was already earlier known as the Ustad and Hamari Dharohar. It covers training in the need-based courses for the minority artisans. Whatever kind of skill in which they have already been trained, we want to train them further and obviously professionally so that they can develop that particular skill in order to support their family. Objective, we all know that better livelihood, better living standards, so that if they are professionally trained, then they'll also be having access to credit and they can increase their business any further. Next is traditional training subcomponent. Traditional training subcomponent, training under Guru Shishya Parampara mode, where some of the master trainers will be taken and they will further educate other people from the minority groups. That means people will be picked from the group only and that person will educate few other more. Entrepreneurship training will also be given on the e-commerce, onboarding, financial literacy, product development, packaging, partners of through the partnership of sector skill council. Next is Hunar Haat. Hunar Haat means in the major cities, you must have been to these fairs and all those locations where so many people come and they exhibit their skills. So such Hunar Haats are specially organized by your Ministry of Minority Affairs so that skills of minority artisans can be showcased over there. Preservation of cultural heritage of traditional and languishing art like calligraphy, manuscript, documentations of the oral tradition. So basically, what was the practices in the older times? You want to cherish them, you want to write them down, you want to document them so that in the future nobody forgets about them. There are so many, if this is not related to it, but there are so many languages in India which are spoken, but few of them are still remembered and many of them are being forgotten by the people because everyone now wants to speak in new languages, or the homogenization is happening. People are forgetting their traditional roots, or now no one will say that why you are teaching in English, because see, sometimes this is the need of the hour when communication is very important in order to reach to the wider population, right? So we have to, but at the home everyone should try to speak in their native language, or at least they should have the knowledge about it so that they can pass on to the next generation, because the languages as well as the writing scripts are being what you can say, they are going out of our mind. Next is, see, non-traditional skilling subcomponent. What are non-traditional skilling subcomponent means? These are not linked to any traditional things. This is purely basis on the skill development. Skill development in the new things, in the modern technologies. So this was what about Seekho or Kamao. So to primarily benefit the artisan family and the other beneficiaries, it will focus on the wage or self-employment. NSQL is National Skill Qualification Framework. It is aligned training compliant. It provides you the training courses, and these are notified by your Ministry of Skill Development. At least 75% of the skilled beneficiaries will be placed in wages or self-employment or any kind of apprenticeship, right? And at least 50% should be placed in the wage employment. That means they should be getting, there are obviously three kinds of employment can be there. One is wage employment, means you are getting your salary. Number two is your own kind of business, self entrepreneurship, and next is your apprenticeship. Apprenticeship means you are learning under someone. So at least 50% is targeted that this should be under wage employment. Next is leadership and entrepreneurship component, earlier known as Nai Roshni for women. So what is the leadership and basic entrepreneurship? So target beneficiaries, at least two-thirds should be women. Program is of 2 weeks, and therefore after assist them to take roles of the community leaders. They will be assisted in applying for suitable education and in skill training in any other scheme. They will be assisted in finding suitable jobs for entering the labor market as per their qualification. Next is entrepreneurship subcomponent. Entrepreneurship subcomponent means 50% of the total beneficiaries who are enrolled in leadership and basic entrepreneurship program, and will provide them a 3 weeks intensive training on how to be an entrepreneur. So that for see, please understand this particular thing, government is not having enough jobs for everyone. As of now, if I talk about, India has become the most populous country, and obviously we government does not have that much finances and that much jobs as well. So what government tries to do is that government tries to focus on entrepreneurship development, so that you can become masters of your own fate. You can create a business out of it, and obviously giving a skill so that the person itself starts a business, and once you start a business you become a job giver. You will provide jobs to 10 other people, so that is again beneficial for government as well, because it takes off the burden from the shoulders of government. So therefore these particular trainings are being given for entrepreneurship development. Business mentors will be allocated. Select 10% of the women trained as entrepreneurs, and they will provide them a training for 30 days spread across 6 months to become business mentors, so that they can further train the people who are coming in their contact. Component 3 is education component. See, this is important to study schemes in this particular detail, because in examinations questions have been asked from this much depth, right? So to provide education bridge program, this is education component, to all the school dropouts from the minority communities, so that they can pursue open schooling in 8th, 10th and 12th from the NIOS, National Institute of Open School. Next component is infrastructure development through hub and spoke model. Now what is hub and spoke model? Hubs means one point of contact, and spokes are, these are the other places which are linked to it. Have you ever, obviously, all those people who live in a smaller area, they must be knowing about it, that there is a town through which all the villages which are surrounding the town are linked. Correct? If any kind of shopping or anything has to be done, the village people, they come to the town for doing the shopping. So in this particular case, understand that particular town is a hub, and all the other villages which are linked to the town are called as spoke. So this is hub and spoke model. So this particular hub and spoke model has been used for infrastructure development. What is being done over here is Hub and spoke model shall be leveraged, wherein art and craft villages known as the Vishwakarma villages shall be developed as hubs. Means once you develop one particular segment or one particular town, then all the other villages which are surrounding that particular town will get automatically developed. The Vishwakarma villages shall be model villages that they will showcase how to promote local artistic flavor, and then each hub shall facilitate the benefits. Obviously, hub, once you train one town, then that particular town will train all the villages associated. So this is what they are telling, that hub will facilitate the benefits to the spokes villages. Spoke villages means the which are linked with the hub village. Hub and spoke villages shall include but not limited to the major heritage and cultural sites. Proposed hubs shall be preferably be located within the approximately 200 kilometers of the state and UT capitals, major heritage and cultural sites. They should preferably have a minimum 50 artists. Minimum 50 artists, and this is also preferable. Even if less are there, that will be manageable, but it will be preferable if you have minimum of 50 artisans. Cost of different components shall be borne by the PM JVK funds, which we have already studied, the number 1 scheme, and it shall be aligned with the PM JVK guidelines. Now, funding patterns. So for all the other components, education, leadership, skilling, 100% funding will be provided by the Ministry of Minority Affairs. But for the infrastructure development, funding pattern will be on the sharing basis between center and state, because obviously infrastructure takes a large amount of effort as well as the cost. Now few of the eligibilities. See, any candidate of Indian nationality who is belonging to minority community as notified under National Commission of Minorities Act, that is eligible. Other minorities which are notified by respective states. Listen to me very carefully. So these are the 6 religions which are notified as minorities at central level. But remember, state governments can also notify few of the communities as minorities, and hence this particular provision is being provided over here, that other minority committees which are notified by respective state government should not occupy more than 5%, means at least 5% should be given. Beneficiaries belonging to EWS category and in the age group of 40 to 45 years shall be targeted for the enrollment in traditional training subcomponents, right, economically weaker section. And beneficiaries of 18 to 45 years shall also be eligible for the leadership and the entrepreneurship component. So earlier that was 18 to 35 in the employment related thing, but now 18 to 45 is here. 3% of the total seats will be reserved for the persons with disabilities. Preference will also be given to those beneficiaries who have lost their parent or livelihood during COVID-19. Next, to promote inter-community solidarity, up to 25% of non-minority community among the traditional training component and 15% in other components may be considered at scheme level in respective components. Means these particular percentages benefit can also be given to the non-minority community. Why? Because see, what I feel is, yes, in India is such a country that sometimes poverty is religiously divided and in between the religions and in between the minorities, but still there are people in the majority section as well who are poor, correct? So this particular scheme tries to strike a balance between the minority people as well as the non-minority people who might be in the need of this kind of scheme. That's why they say that up to 25% of the non-minority community among the traditional training component, ustad component, right? So under that 25% can be given to non-minority community and 15% in the other components. This particular 15 up to 15% benefit can be given to the other communities as well. Now for women beneficiaries, at least 33% of total targets are reserved for women. 10% of these women trained as entrepreneurs shall also be selected to become business mentors, as we have discussed. 66% under leadership and basic entrepreneurship, and at least 50% in the education component. Now, what is the implementation structure? So empowered committees have been constituted by Ministry of Minority Affairs, and these are the apex committee under this particular scheme. 5 members are there. What is the purpose? To take the decisions. There is a screening committee as well. Screening committee's work is that it will advise the empowered committee and will oversee the ground level monitoring. Composition, again 5 members are there. Then few other stakeholders are there. Ministry of Minority Affairs, project implementation agencies are there, knowledge partners, certificate awarding bodies, financial linkage partners. See, any kind of schemes, when that particular schemes take place, there are so many stakeholders involved in it. Someone is giving the certificate, someone is providing the finances. So all of these are that stakeholders, not that much important. Now next is your Padho Pardesh scheme. Padho Pardesh scheme, obviously by the name itself it is clear that all those people who are from the minority segment, who are willing in order to go to your foreign or the abroad, for studies. So this particular schemes is for them. So it provides interest subsidy on the educational loans which you have taken for the overseas study. Now what kind of study? Study should be higher studies. It is not that you are going to abroad for studying your school level education. No interest subsidy will be given to you. If you are going to abroad for higher studies, then you will be given this particular subsidy. Interest subsidy, it will be linked with the existing educational loans of the Indian Banks Association. Courses like Masters, MPhil, PhD levels, that means the higher studies. If you have taken loan on it and you are paying interest, then Padho Pardesh scheme will provide you interest subsidy. That means you will get some amount of benefit from the government. Who are the eligible beneficiaries? So students from the minorities community who may also belong to SC, ST, OBC do not avail interest subsidy from other scheme. You should not be availing from any other scheme. Under this particular scheme, interest payable by the students for the period of moratorium as prescribed under the education loan scheme shall be borne by the government of India. Total income of the employed candidates or his or her parents shall not exceed 6 lakhs per annum. Next is Naya Savera. So this particular scheme is for empowering the students who are belonging to minority communities. All these schemes are for the minority group. If they are preparing for competitive exams of the country, obviously if they are preparing for it, private jobs will also improve. So Ministry of Minority Affairs will fund the entire expenditure of the coaching. Benefits are free coaching. Objective is qualifying exams like in the engineering that you give JEE, NEET, CLAT and all those things. So law, management, information technology, language examinations, competitive examinations for recruitment in group A, B, C services and other equivalent post. What are the eligibility? First, you should be from the notified minority community. Your total family income from all sources should not exceed 6 lakh rupees and candidate must have secured the requisite percentage of marks in the qualifying examination so that he should be getting the admission. If he has got the admission, obviously means you are good in studies. If you are good you have got great percentages, you have got the admission in whatever exam you are doing the preparation for, then coaching fees will be provided to you by the Ministry of Minority Affairs. So this was the scheme of Naya Savera. So we have discussed half schemes till now, and we'll discuss another set of schemes later on. I'll finish this class up to this particular moment. Thank you so much, and I hope that you have understood out of this particular class some things. And if you have liked the class, then please do not forget to hit the like button. And what else? So please remember what kind of schemes these are. Whatever details are written and provided over here, please remember all of them, because all of them are required. Please don't skip them, because questions are being asked from this much detail only. Thank you so much.